It's roster day. That's what this one's all about. As the Browns set their 53-man roster, he's Daryl Ryder. I'm Andy Baskin. Daryl, are you excited to continue on with the roster?
I am, but first, a little something to pass along. Mobile sports betting finally legal here in Ohio. It has been since January, and BetQL is here to help you make the most informed bets possible. See all of today's winners by heading to BetQL.com or downloading the BetQL app. Claim your free 3-day trial today. Head to BetQL.com/news/923 The Fan for those exclusive sportsbook offers.
All right, Daryl, let's start with the offense and the 6 wide receivers. Let's start there because I think that's a nice, easy place to start.
Yeah, so Amari Cooper, Marquise Goodwin, Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Bell, and Cedric Tillman. Absolutely really no surprises there. Like, I know folks are really upset over the Austin Watkins thing, but really, we're upset over the number 7 wide receiver on the depth chart. That's that. You know what? Fine, because that just to me is a testament to how far roster construction for the Cleveland Browns has come when it comes to fans and their passion for those who do and do not make the football team.
Daryl, let's discuss the running back situation. There really isn't a situation when you have Nick Chubb on your team, but Jerome Ford, limited time, no time during the preseason, and then they bring in Pierre Strong on a trade earlier this week with Tyrone Wheatley Jr. going to New England. I like Tyrone. I think we talked about him in the last podcast. I think he'll be able to help out New England. I haven't looked to make sure that he made the roster, but I'm sure he's going to be able to help out New England.
Well, it was a good trade because Tyrone wasn't making this football team. And you go ahead and you trade him. You trade a player you were going to cut anyway, and you get a player that potentially can help you in Pierre Strong Jr. I like the move. Jerome Ford, I've been telling you guys for weeks, and no one wanted to believe me that he was going to not only make the team, but he was going to be the number 2 running back. They weren't worried about the hamstring injury. They still aren't worried about the hamstring injury. In fact, he practiced on Tuesday along with Harrison Bryant, who missed most of training camp with an unknown or undisclosed medical condition, as Kevin Stefanski put it throughout camp. But yeah, when you look at that running back room, aside from the move to get Pierre Strong Jr., once that happened, that told you Demetric Felton was not going to make this roster, not going to make this team. And quite frankly, with all due respect to Demetric, with all due respect to John Kelly, neither one of them distinguished themselves in the preseason or training camp to really earn that job. So certainly understand why Andrew Berry elected to go ahead and make a minor trade that could have some pretty positive impact as this season goes along.
Daryl, we'll do the quarterbacks last. Let's do tight ends right now. David Njoku, no brainer. Jordan Akins, no brainer. I mean, when he came over from Houston, you knew that was a done deal.
Right.
Harrison Bryant, what do you think?
Made the club from the tub. Congratulations. Yeah. I would say this is the initial 53. We'll see if he's on the club for week 1.
Where do you think so as we talk, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, maybe even 50, 51.
He's in the 40s.
High 40s?
He's in the 40s, yeah.
Okay. And we know how much Kevin loves tight ends because, I mean, obviously Kevin isn't scared to use a tight end as a fullback either if he needs to. So you've got to be versatile in that spot.
Yeah.
Although David Njoku's not playing fullback.
Right. And also, too, putting Elijah Moore in the backfield adds a little bit of a dimension too, along with the 3 other running backs that you can put in the backfield. So they've got plenty of guys they can put back there to mess with opposing defenses.
Do you think they would use Elijah Moore as a number 2 running back or a 3rd down running back?
No.
Okay.
But
that's why you said that. I was like, oh.
Well, no, but they will hand the ball to him. He's going to get handoffs this year.
I'll buy it. Much like Anthony, he's going to fulfill that big role that Anthony Schwartz had on the swing around play from the wide receivers. Yeah, is it really like when I say end around? I always feel like that should be the tight end around and not really a wide receiver. So it's more of a receiver around.
It's called an end around.
I've always considered that the tight end position as a former tight end.
I'm just telling you,
what guy that utilizes and loves the tight end position. Semantics are important to me on this.
Well, I'm just telling you, you might be comfortable saying that. I'm just telling you what the actual terminology is, though.
Okay.
Call it whatever you want. They call it an end around.
Yeah, it's more of a wide around, but that's all right. It doesn't really matter. All right, so now let's get into the offensive line because I think this is where
they kept 9.
I know.
My goodness gracious. So obviously your starters, right? You got Joel Bitonio, Jack Conklin, Ethan Posick, Wyatt Teller, Jed Wills, your subs. As I said on the last podcast, and you looked at me like I was a little crazy there. I said Luke Whipler
that's typical.
make the team. He did make the team along with James Hudson III, Nick Harris, and DeJuan Jones, who, by the way, let's give him his love. He absolutely deserved to make this roster, considering where he came. And we've talked about it on the podcast. We've talked about it on 92.3 The Fan quite a bit. You know, from a guy that struggled to get through a rep in rookie minicamp to how he performed during training camp, during the preseason, absolutely deserved to make the team. And I got to tell you.
Tell me, Daryl.
He has the potential to be a player for the Cleveland Browns.
I think within the next 2 years, Luke Whipler will be too, as long as he can stay healthy.
Right. And
I think both of the Buckeyes have a chance.
Now, one concern on the offensive line, though, interior backups. And right now your interior backup is Luke Whipler.
At the guard spot, yeah. And
yeah,
Nick Harris can shift over a little, can he?
Yeah, he can too. But you know what I'm saying? So you're a little dicey there as far as experience goes, right? You're counting on two traditional centers to handle the rest of your interior line as backup. So I think that is interesting.
What would you do in an emergency situation? I mean, you can't if you had to, now you couldn't. There's no way you would ever stick Charlie Hewlett there if you were really down and out at center, would you? I guess he'd be the super emergency.
You're not really down and out at center because you got three centers on the team.
Well,
if you're three centers deep, if you're onto your fourth center, Andy, the year's gone horrifically bad.
So you're looking at Posick, Harris, and then Whipler's the third center. Is that
Correct.
what you're saying? Okay,
100%.
all right. Because I mean, what I'm looking at is Whipler as Bitonio's backup, or as or Wyatt Teller's backup.
Right. Wow. You got three centers on this team.
All right. And how confident are we in this offensive line? I mean, we got guys trying to bounce back from mid.
Well, starters are healthy. I'm confident.
All right. It's a concern. I think the offensive line is a little bit of a concern. That's just me.
Well, the health of the offensive line, I think, is a concern. But look,
we got guys on this offensive line that said that they had played subpar season. Like, they know they could have played better last year. We need them to play better this year.
And injury played a part in that as well. Let's not forget that.
All right, 2 minutes, 2-minute drill here on the quarterback situation. It is what it is. I think the only thing we have to really consider is Dorian Thompson-Robinson is in a very interesting position if anything happens to Deshaun Watson. He is one snap away.
Yes, he is. And as I've said, I don't think backup quarterback matters, because if Deshaun Watson's not on the field for extended period of time, then they're up the creek without the paddle anyway. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, the thing that Dorian Thompson-Robinson gives them, Andy, is he has similar traits to Deshaun as far as how he plays that position, which allows Kevin Stefanski not to have to modify too much. It's not like last year, right, where Jacoby Brissett, they ran one style of offense for Jacoby for 11 weeks. And then when Deshaun came back, they kind of were trying to run the same offense while also incorporating the Deshaun concepts, if that makes sense. So
makes sense.
That's where the DTR is your number two. You feel somewhat good about it because of the similar. And look, the Baltimore Ravens have been doing this with Lamar Jackson and their quarterback position, right?
Right.
And so give the Browns credit here. This is something that they're trying to do with the quarterback position, is have a young guy like DTR who possesses some of the skill set. I'm not saying he's Deshaun Watson 2.0. Don't misunderstand me, but he does possess some of those traits and skill sets, the ability to make plays with his feet, the ability to move on the run, look downfield, make plays, things like that, that would not force Kevin Stefanski to have to scrap a big part of the playbook, which, by the way, he spent the offseason redesigning for Deshaun Watson.
Looking forward to it. I think he can do a wonderful job in that. We've seen what he's done for Baker Mayfield when Baker was all in.
And on Tuesday, Deshaun Watson was ill, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson was the only quarterback on the field, and he got to run the show. So it was a good day and good opportunity for him to go ahead and really dive in to that and get the opportunity to work with the number one offense and really get those reps in Deshaun's absence. So more positive experience there for the new number 2 quarterback, who of course is a rookie.
All right, that was the offense. Let's talk defense next on It's Always Game Day in Cleveland.